with Nathan Fillion at Comic-Con. Welcome.
Good start. Thank you. I'm doing good. Welcome. What?
First, before we get into Castle, we have to talk about the Firefly reunion yesterday, which I wasn't at, but I heard was extremely emotional.
It was unexpectedly emotional. And I think a couple factors. We did a 2-hour round table kind of discussion beforehand at a table, mock-up table made to look like the table we had in the kitchen, in the dining area of the Serenity spaceship. And some oblong chairs, which is what we had as well, and the same kind of lighting. It was, which I think were dumpling steamers with light bulbs in them. I think that's what we had. So we spent 2 hours reminiscing right before we went to the panel. And, you know, I'm always very excited about these panels, Michael. I'm always having a great time. I got out there, there's 7,000 people. I turned next to me, Alan says, I'm getting a little emotional. I turned back to the crowd and it was suddenly a different lens. I don't know that I could say anything without getting a little choked up. It's 10 years ago, Firefly brought me to Comic-Con for the first time.
Wow.
And here we are 10 years later, and it was surprisingly emotional and a little draining after that. I was exhausted.
So let's talk Castle.
Okay.
How long after the clench do we pick up? Are fans going to get to see what they came to see?
Oh, that's a good question that I don't have the answer to. That would have been how long after the... Oh, you know what? I do know the answer. Ready? It's going to be the morning after. And I think we're going to get directly into the fact that these two characters getting together, it's not going to solve a lot of problems. If anything, it's going to create more problems. Certainly these two characters are going to be exactly the same people they were before they entered into a relationship. He's still going to be a pain in the butt. She's still going to be, you know, maybe a little emotionally unavailable and kind of tense about being in a relationship. We're going to have to see how things pan out.
Andrew has said, I believe, that they will be in a relationship, though. It's not just a one-time thing and then let's forget about it.
Right. It's not going to be, we got together, now let's push away. It's going to be, they're in it.
Yeah.
To win it.
Are you nervous at all? You know, obviously the moonlighting curse and all of that, you know, it sometimes changes the show for the better or worse. It actually has helped Bones, I think, in many ways to finally pull the trigger on that. How are you feeling about going in this direction?
Good question. And I've always been very public about saying, don't get them together because then all this magic is not what we're... But I think they've been very clever in not treating this as an ending to everything that was been going on, but rather this has been a protracted beginning. Now it can finally start. And that was something I think they did in Moonlighting as far as the curse goes, is they didn't commit to the commitment. They came together and then they pushed away. But we're going to, like I said, we're in it to win it.
I heard through the grapevine, actually I reported, that the show is casting the roles of a vice president and some high-ranking officials in the government, which leads me to believe we're going to finally get to the bottom of Beckett's mother's murder. I
just learned that just now from you. You already know more than me. I bet we know different things. I don't know if it's more, but I bet we know.
I probably know slightly more than you do, and that makes me happy.
That's probably safe to say.
Puts me in a position of power.
I'm not bright.
But is it your understanding that that story will get sort of resolved?
I don't know that it's going to get resolved. That whole plot line is such a wonderful locomotive that keeps things moving on the show. You know, I think there's also going to be a little bit of... there's been some hints about the identity of Castle's father. So I think maybe perhaps that kind of casting that you're thinking about might even be leading into...
You do know more than me.
Whoops. Spoiler alert. I don't even know that. This is just me assuming.
Lastly, Dr. Horrible's coming to television.
Is it?
Yes. The CW...
You still know more than me.
You've heard this. The CW is airing Dr. Horrible.
I just heard that from you.
Wow. Can I get your reaction to that?
Here it is. Ready?
Any hopes? Obviously, this is raising talk of, is there going to be a sequel?
Yesterday, I was in the company of someone who I can safely say is involved in Dr. Horrible. And there were some discussions, there were some chats, there were some tidbits of information. I can safely say that the chances of a Dr. Horrible sequel are good. Let me rephrase. Very, very good. Excellent. That's where I'm stopping. You want me to keep going, but I'm not going to.